Well, we're going to the chapel and we're gonna get married. Nobody at this table. Everybody on this week, No Accounting for Taste. We talk about weddings.
Pal, you're good with words. You know that, man?
I think the gym is dumb.
Did Rachel walk in the room? Of course I've eaten a Baconator.
Man, if you ain't doing CrossFit, you can get crossed up.
You're right. A long burger's not the worst idea I've ever heard.
That's your sitcom right there as a Mr. Fix-It-All who just can't fix his heart.
We will not be defending Atlantic City.
No accounting for taste. If it's something that somebody loves, let's try and celebrate it instead of shitting on it. Oh, wow. Aaron, were you ready for that in the headphones? Were you prepped for that?
That's just a little pillow talk for you, buddy. Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Oh, hey.
Okay.
Lucky us. Rare guest appearance. Mr. CJ Sullivan.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much. Can I change my vote to pageants after that intro?
Yeah. We can go to the next
I
subject.
didn't know why it had to be like that.
I'm just kidding.
Well-
No, I loved it. I was just
No,
Shade,
it's fine. It's
But
fine.
thank you for being the first, other than Rachel, the first guest I heard on the show.
Yeah, and Rachel was a default guest. She kind of just showed up.
Yeah,
one
she
day.
was at the bar with us before.
Yeah.
And said, I'm coming to the podcast.
Well, what's the other?
And Kyle's scared of her, and I like her fine enough.
Yeah.
Wow,
Well, what's
she's
the other
great. She
proposition?
sets
Hey,
the
do you want
bar.
to sit quietly and listen to two dudes do a podcast? That's a certain type of hell.
Yeah. So now we have this.
So you participate.
Rachel is Kyle's partner,
Yes.
his unbetrothed.
You know her from whispering the word sloppy pockets into a microphone. And then I had to delete a lot of weird comments on that clip because there's creeps out there.
Yes, there are.
CJ, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I feel like it's kind of forced upon, but since I have the first actual guest, but no, well, you know, I'm not going to care. I'm here.
If you've seen our ratings, no pressure.
Yeah, truly, you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's low numbers. Feel free to freestyle.
Yeah.
We
wanted that Sullivan bump that everybody talks
Get ready.
Yeah.
Get ready for the 38 to 44 crowd.
Also, me asking you to do this episode and then not realizing you're recently divorced.
Well, separated
Okay,
as
all
of
right,
now, but
No, you don't have to air anything
the
about
papers are coming through. No, it's fine. We just had irreconcilable similarities.
That's the best way I've heard that phrased.
We both hated me, so so we just said.
Well, let's not say anything that the lawyers can get a hold of.
Yeah, we'll hold this until the papers are signed. Yeah.
We'll wait till somebody you know jumps out of a bush with a
You get served.
Right, Sudeikis style.
yeah. I still am. This is off subject. I'm still blown away that part of the actual legal system can just be a friend you give $50 to serve papers.
Yeah,
It's
I have a.
It's like it is also weird. Like I was thinking about like how many fallacies there are. Like the basic like justice system is like, okay, well you can't lie to us right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the
Put your hand on this book of retold stories that winos remembered from one another.
Yeah. And then
About a ghost.
Yeah. You as
promise not to lie.
You as an accused murderer would never lie.
Yeah.
How would you cross that line?
you took an oath.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that.
Here's signed paperwork from a judge in the highest court of the land. If you have a friend that'll do you a favor for a 12-pack of beer, you could just give it to him, and he can scare your ex by jumping out of the bushes.
You've been served by Doug.
I know.
I'll see ya.
The servings is hilarious too. No take backs. Like you touched it. You touched the papers. No take back. That's legal. But you can like avoid them. Like it's like play
Have you
tags
guys-
and run
If you're
around
good
a
at
car.
defense-
You know?
and they have to confirm your name too, right?
Right, yeah.
Isn't it like a
Have
real...
you ever been served, either of you?
No.
No, but my uncle's a marshal. That's basically what he does. He
Yeah.
just serves people, and he said it's hilarious. He's
Yeah.
gotta, like,
It wasn't
make a
funny when it
paper
happened to me.
airplane us.
You
No.
what'd you get served
I
on?
got served. I was working at a coffee shop I hated in Portland, and I had like some bill or something I'd never paid. It's something like something I was like, it's bullshit. I'm 22, and then this guy was like, and this was also when I was like starting to become known in Portland comedy a little bit. So
Oh,
this guy was
that's
like,
so fun.
this guy was like, "Are you Shane Torres?" And I was like, "Yes,
so
yes, I
great.
am."
That's-
And then he was like, "You've been served."
I
And
love
they're
the
like,
ruse of it, don't you?
$520 at Phoenix Medical
You
Center.
know, you know who you look like, comedian Shane Torres? You do that too, but also the guy I'm supposed to give this.
Booyah!
right.
And I'll have a cheddar corn muffin and a latte to go.
Hollywood has to be the easiest place to serve papers.
Right,
to
people can't
somebody.
wait to
Oh,
say who
God.
they are.
It's fishing with dynamite here. Yeah, you just you go to the drawing room and like,
Did you see me in that Capital One commercial? No, but you forgot to pay your Capital One bill. So here's your papers.
we were just getting blown up by the bartender, like somebody's trying to serve you. And they're
Right.
like, hey, Mike, here's another one for you.
You're not paying this tab either. Well, maybe that'll be a subject for another time. But now we're talking about nuptials, marriage, holy matrimony.
Specifically, weddings. and not-
Specifically, weddings, not necessarily the concept of love, just
Yeah.
the idea of weddings. Personal stories. I don't know. I've come to a realization late in life of like where I would never dance at weddings because I was always like, oh man, they look dumb. And then I realized I was sitting alone at a table, and I'm like, "Oh no, I look dumb.
Yeah,
cut
that's
loose
I look like
more.
an
Sure.
asshole."
I've definitely cut loose more as I've gotten older with it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get in. You have to be into
you-
it or not.
Were you a big wedding dancer?
I get it. Yeah, of course. Well, also known as an alcoholic. Yes.
No, we were.
But alcoholic means you can veer into just being completely judgmental, smoking
Right.
outside,
True.
or
Yeah.
sweating the booze.
I'll tell you, I
around
knew the
dance
bartender's
floor.
name better than I knew the DJ's name at the wedding.
Yeah,
so,
no, I would get into it. I like the layers of clothing that comes off at a wedding, like during the dance floor. Like
The
the
tie
tie gets
coming
loose,
loose, yeah.
and then the jacket, of course, is right off. you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, and then the tie off, then the buttons open. Next thing you know, it's just undershirt out there.
Yeah, and there's like
you
a lot
know?
of sweat pouring
Yeah,
out.
and
Yeah, yeah.
next thing you know, I'm choreographing a meatloaf dance. I mean, like, it's just
Yeah.
Dude, that was we were both at a wedding this past
Yeah.
weekend.
Congratulations, Ian and
Yeah.
Dana Carmel now.
Yeah, congratulations getting
Yeah.
married in a triple-digit heat.
Yeah, triple digit.
Part of the
Dude.
event being outside.
I'll tell you, Ian's dad was upstairs, like we were all getting ready, and it was like, half of these guys have never put on a tie in their lives, so he was putting on
Yeah.
everyone's tie, and there was no air conditioning in the building, and he was just standing in front of the window unit with his shirt off, like nipples hard as diamonds, like, and he was just helping people with their ties.
No, I got to stand behind you. I can't do it
He's
face
like,
to
he's like, I
face.
can't do it if I don't do it on myself. It's just like this 7-year-old Jewish man helping you with your tie.
Yeah,
It was awesome.
David Bory just had a towel over his head like it was the
Oh,
it was the playoffs the whole time.
Yeah, he's like he's Federer at the U.S. Open or something.
Yeah, it was a steamy one.
But once it finally cooled down, it was the whole wedding was a blast. But like when it cooled down, everybody really cut loose. Yeah.
But so I think as a young man, I would get a little bitter towards them. Maybe not bitter, but it's like it sucks when weddings always happen in your 20 because you're not broke enough to buy an outfit that you're gonna feel good in. You're gonna get something clumsy from like Men's Warehouse.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
it's just like, does it kind of fit? You don't even know what fits then. You know,
Yeah.
like what looks
Yeah.
good. As long as it's over you consider
You're
it a
still
fit.
trying to make
yeah.
a new era canvas snap belt work.
Yeah.
with a
Oh,
suit.
yeah. Hey, a twist. It's also a brown belt and a black. belt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got my 3.
I may or may not have worn one of those to this wedding.
You got some like
I did.
2-for-1 Payless rubber dress shoes.
Yeah.
That they would also give mental patience.
Yeah.
Because you can't harm yourself
you're
with the
always-
laces on the slip-ons.
Well, you're always standing next to someone you feel like who looks fucking great too, like somebody who's
Yeah.
got an extra $500 to buy a nice suit. And that-
yeah. I like
the contrast sucks.
right.
Yeah.
I like the guy who has a late coming suit, like the one who like didn't pack one or has to get one the day of almost
Yeah.
towards it. I remember for the wedding we were at years ago, Kyle. It was,
Oh, that was
Eric Acosta's wedding.
Yeah.
if you recall. I remember Sean Cole came in and he got one from
I think
Goodwill, and it was like it was literally made out of like bounty paper towels. He wanted like a white linen suit, but it was like a paper
Yeah.
towel. And as soon as he got a drink stained on it, it was completely see
I
through.
think he got. I think those were curtains he safety pinned in strategic places. But everybody loved it. They were like, "Oh man, that looks."
Of course, he pulled it off.
Last minute.
Was he the guy? Sean Cole's like a renowned psychopath.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. He's a recluse. if
You don't want to
will,
say that
right.
publicly. You don't
Yes.
want. You don't want to be on the
There's-
record for saying that out.
There's
in the-
no
out in the
way
world.
this could reach him. It's impossible.
He doesn't live near electricity these days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But okay, so but everybody's like, oh yeah, well it's Sean. We already know his personality. But then last minute thrown together, super silly. 2 weeks where you're running around, ill-fitting suit. Planned out 6 months in advance. You got time. You better look sharp, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like that it's kind of weddings are kind of wasted in that era of like in your 20s or anything. Because first off, those aren't going to last.
No, that's when you're going to the wedding where you're like, so no one's going to say anything to Bill about this girl. Like, there's a lot of, and then like the other thing is like
really locking down your rebound, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other thing is like, oh man, this guy's my friend had sex with my wife is at my wedding. Like, you know, that thing where like your friend from high school marries somebody else's girlfriend. You're like, a
lot of the past coming together.
Everybody.
You don't hold on. You don't. I don't care what you say. You don't.
A lot of nudges and winks in the church.
Yeah.
That's what you were saying last week.
Yeah, I had fun at some of them, but it was kind of. And you're sloppy drunk.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're saying when you're 20s. I mean, open bar is the only thing you needed to hear.
Yeah, that's actually like, as long as that's.
When you don't
You
know
can
how
have
to
a good
drink.
time at a wedding as long as that's on the table.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not
We
doing.
should mosh. All right. These aren't the, these aren't the photographs.
This is what her dad paid $1,000 to use this church for an hour.
Yeah, I did wind up in the ER with a friend after one wedding.
What?
He just elbow dropped a glass table.
Wow.
Because we thought it was just like, oh, this is just like every other party.
That's what I like about weddings, though. It's something bad's going to happen. Usually, you have to embrace it. Like the unknown is what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like there's I've stopped a wedding, but I've ended weddings.
You've ended weddings?
Yeah, I mean,
what's a Hell in the Cell match?
I don't start weddings.
Right, I didn't finish them. But like, yeah, there's just a chaos. So once you embrace it, it was early on my life as a buddies, and everyone wanted me to do stand up, and I was like, never. I was just into it. And I was very drunk, so fine, like all night, just gotta do it. I'm like, no, it's a terrible idea. Trust me, you know.
Yeah.
And it was a terrible idea. And I'm like, then finally they wouldn't let it go. I'm like, all right, I'm going to show you what a bad idea this is. You know what I mean? 18 Jack and Cokes later, I told a very profanity-laced story about the groom, and the father of the bride literally ripped the mic from my hand midway through. People, grandmas were wheeling out. Like I wheeled half the crowd. And
what was this story?
Well, if you want to recreate,
are they still married?
I don't even remember. They are. Yeah, they are still married. She doesn't. Her family doesn't talk to me though. Her side doesn't.
But he's your friend.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's
absolutely.
fine, yeah.
I mean, they got a free show.
Isn't it crazy that that's what you'll always be remembered for?
Oh yeah,
the
for
first
sure.
thing. Like,
I mean,
like nothing else.
You ruined one wedding, and that's what you're known for by the bride. I mean,
you could have been the first COVID death, and they would still call you. Like,
she said something like, the father said something like, I paid for this. I was like, well, you didn't. I told me skimped on the food too, or something like that. Essentially, you didn't pay that much for it. Is what I'm trying to say. If you might have paid for it. I mean, well, at that point, I already ripped the mic out.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound like you're trying to defend yourself right now. You gave him every opportunity for an out.
I gave him
here we go.
3 hours and 12 Jim Beams. to say this is a bad idea.
I've heard a shotgun wedding get exposed from one of the bridesmaids, and that was fun. Like everybody kind of knew that, like, oh, why is the wedding 2 months earlier than it should have been? And everybody knew except for some decrepit aunt.
Yeah, and that's the one.
And then
we're all jumping through hoops for this old lady who won't even make it to the birth of the child.
Yeah. And then one bridesmaid just goes, it's just so exciting with the baby on the way. You just hear an old woman go, what? We're like, cat's out of the bag now. Here we go, Nana. We're going to have a good time with this one.
Does that ever happen? Has anyone ever been in those like instances where like speak now, forever hold your peace, and someone object to a wedding like live? And like, someone comes in graduate style, you know, like.
Well, I think it just says to have a good reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
but they don't even ask that anymore, right?
Yeah, like, I don't think they ask you, but it's also like, I think people are like, is somebody else in love with one of these people, and not like, hey, well, they kind of hit each other a lot. You know, there's never like nobody ever says like, it says a good reason. Like, I don't know, maybe they drive drunk too much together. Yeah.
They just sit there quietly go, well, I didn't get him the good bread maker. I didn't spend a lot of money on this one because I always say I'll go to either your second marriage or your 10-year anniversary. That's when you should have a party. That's one. Like, we made it 10 years. All right, here's a gift. Good job. A lot of people don't get to that point.
That's
right.
We're like,
That's a
hey,
good
round
point.
2, we knocked the kinks out on the first one. Like, yeah, I got you.
I've made adjustments. Second half. Which also seems like it could really backfire.
Yeah.
Like an overcorrection seems
Well,
worse.
yeah, there's got to be some time. Like I said, it can't just be the rebound.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I attended a Zoom wedding over the pandemic.
I did one of those too.
That was
Really?
fun. They didn't even pay for the premium Zoom membership, and it ended in 40 minutes.
That is a budget wedding.
Not
yeah.
a good sign for the marriage itself. But
Weren't you kind of grateful at 40? It's
absolutely, I loved it.
Hey,
you know
we're
what
all
I
going to
mean?
re-sign back on. No, we're not.
Hey,
No.
if a ceremony is more than 40 minutes at a wedding, I'm
Right.
like, this is dragging ass.
Yeah.
That's like,
And it was the groom's like third, I think, like you were saying, and the parents weren't even dressed up, and the parents were like in pajamas. Like, whoa, were we supposed to get dressed for this?
Yeah.
Like, we've been to this before.
My
woman's-
buddy got married again, but it was just a court ceremony with Zoom, and I forgot about it. I was like, shit, sorry, man.
so my buddy, like, she got married, and like somebody's dog was just barking the whole time. Like nobody could even hear her. You like, you know,
Right.
it was just
Yeah.
like, it was like, well,
Put it on mute.
I wanted to be like, shut the fuck up, you know, like it was like
Right.
being in a movie theater when someone picks up their phone, you know, they just don't give a shit. Oh, it was the worst.
Nana, it's mute. Mute. It's the little microphone. You hit mute.
yeah, it's-
Nana,
ugh.
it's mute.
Hi, what? You know, like, oh my God.
I think I was best man in one wedding that was a Baptist wedding, like a friend from like when we were little kids. No drinking, no music. Not kidding. Have been to funerals that have been more celebratory than a country Baptist wedding.
Southern
Yeah,
Baptist
right.
are
Of just like so quiet
strict.
and just we are all eating quietly
Yeah.
and like.
They
And
hold
to go
hands.
behind a barn to have a cigarette, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh,
They hold
geez.
hands at the altar and they're like, "Hey, you're not married yet." Kind of like they're very repressed people. Yeah.
and it's
It depends on it does depend on the group of people for a good wedding. Like that's something you like.
But you straight up footloose your own wedding, like no dancing.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like, I get whatever your beliefs are. That's fine. But you know what we are.
People
coming-
are
you know what
driving-
we
yeah,
are coming
don't
in.
yeah.
I mean,
People are
don't bring us
driving.
into this
People
world.
are driving hours out to the middle
Right,
of
yeah.
nowhere.
I put on a fucking tie for this.
I
You
know.
know, like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Barely. You can
Yeah.
see how hard this is for this tie to go to stay around my neck
Yeah,
here.
Yeah, I had to Kevin Bacon a whole grain warehouse afterward just to get it out of my system, you know? I had to really shake it up.
Do you guys either of you have like a favorite wedding memory, like something that stands out?
I've just had like super good times.
Yeah, nothing.
I mean, and
For
that's
sure.
booze,
Yeah.
dancing, and it's all your friends
Yeah, I was
without a disaster component, like you're saying. Someone like
Right.
when it's like, oh, this actually went. I don't think anybody got in a fight. I don't think anybody. The food was pretty good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nobody left. Nobody got a DUI on the way home. Yeah,
we
Well, that's not for me to know. You know? I'll say I like the addition of, all right, you had the nice meal, then you dance, and all of a sudden midnight,
snacks.
it's coming. Yeah. Okay. Hey, we're wrapping up. The bar's closing. Pile of pizza over there. Like,
fuck.
Yeah, I think that's been a newer addition.
It
where people
has.
throw in the junk food at towards the
Yeah,
end.
I
and
think it's a
people's
great
going nuts
move,
for it
yeah.
is.
I also
junk food or like a basket of like flip flops for little gals.
Yeah.
For the gals, it.
That's
Get
a-
loose.
The heels
get
are ripped up.
Get
I
them
love
crappy shoes
I
off.
love the last call bar rush too.
Yeah.
When everybody, like every fucking lunatic goes up there and
And there's
the bartender's pouring tequila
Yeah.
shots
Right.
into snifters.
Then
I want 9 gins, like gin
Yeah.
and tonic, just gin. Just
Operation Stockpile. Just put them on different tables.
9 units of
Hey,
rum.
it costs $66 a head for my buddy to get his money out of your ass tonight, and we're gonna get it.
And then when you go, that we always say, I mean, Sean Flannery will always say, there's no more entitled group than the wedding party. After the wedding's over, then they go to the hotel bar and they just been served hand and foot like open bar. Then they go to a regular bar. And they still think they're in wedding mode. Like, give me 240.
We're all they're all Justin
exactly.
Biebering it.
They're all
Yeah,
yelling
yeah.
things like, whoa, hold the fuck up here.
Hey, my name's Brian. I'm a person.
Right.
I had a tie on 4 hours
Yeah,
ago.
exactly.
Let's jump to it.
I got a makeup job on my face that looks like I
Which
did it with crayons.
And we are so close to venturing into Blackout Diaries territory, as you mentioned. Sean Flannery,
right.
CJ Sullivan, Sean Flannery, Blackout Diaries podcast, which is the logical conclusion to our subject right now, is what's happened after a wedding. But okay,
Sure.
so we've spoken much about the personal stories Now
I
let's get to we should get to the good and the bad of weddings. Although I think this is just an easy flow and
Yeah, I think we're moving in the right direction.
We're
But
doing good.
we got a built-in an ad break for real quick, so
we got to sell some bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah. You're listening to No Accounting for Taste on the All Things Comedy Network. Bill Burr's propaganda machine. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying that one of these days.
You know what? Let's get a little heat for something.
Yeah.
Do you say that every time?
Not every time, but it's a new fun thing.
said it
That is
enough.
fun.
Yeah.
Enough for my
We'll
good.
see. We'll see when we get an angry email. We'll see when we get an email with a Boston accent.
That's
Get you guys
hilarious.
doing like comedy bits and shit, all right? But I put a lot of money in that studio. Okay, well, plenty of personal stories. What about the good and the bad of weddings? What are the good things? The good things, I think we are.
The good things are super obvious.
I think we're pretty pro.
I'm very
wedding
pro. I love weddings. I have a good
Especially
time. Yeah.
like I said before, the irony is that like now that I'm appreciating them more, everybody's got them like destination weddings or second weddings.
Right.
Did do a wedding down at Sandals in Jamaica.
Oh, that's fun.
Just what a horny resort.
Yeah, it is.
Do they honeymoon at their timeshare in Coral Gables? That is bar.
It was my buddy's round 2, and we all went down there. I would have done it at Hedo myself. I could go to a little Hedo 2, Hedonism 2. It's a even hornier resort than Sandals. But there was.
It says that on the sign.
It's Hedo.
It says
Hornier
that
than
on the-
Sandals.
That's how they advertise.
What? Yeah, they just dog it.
Hornier than sandals.
Yeah.
We don't even watch the sheets to get so filmed.
Hedo 2, the first one got so cum crusted we had to abandon ship.
Yeah.
That was too big for the sign to say that. But it was like a couples only resort, and there was a lot of like, all right, we're all there for a wedding, but there's a lot of like looks coming from hot tubs.
Oh,
A lot of
that's
a
not.
lot of leathery commingling.
Oh, man.
Just a film of cologne on top of the hot tub.
Yeah.
Oh God, just like an old white trash stew cooking out there in the open.
Yeah, you want to see what happens when copper tone and Hawaiian tropic rub together a little too much.
Oh,
What a
But
great sketch group. Leather commingling.
but
What's your thoughts on the destination wedding?
so destination weddings, I think
depends on the destination.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit exclusive. You got like you price but sometimes maybe it's on purpose. You're pricing out some friends. Like, well, we invited.
Right. It's a great non-invite invite.
Yeah.
We invited.
You know they get
we
worried
invited
when-
Terry and Joanna.
Yeah.
But
I
they
scraped together $600. Whose floor am I sleeping on?
they couldn't get a sitter for their 7 kids, and this is a couples only resort. So that's
don't bring your kids.
I know some people have had issues I don't know personally, but I've read things like people that have weddings like no kids, and I'm just like,
Right.
thank you.
I love it.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
you should not
I think it's fine.
be offended. But
Yeah.
I'm not a parent. I don't know if that offends people.
I mean, I think it does, but I think that's stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's fine. I don't mind.
Like it's an
setting
adult
those rules.
affair
Right.
this
Absolutely.
time. It's not like it's fine. I
Yeah.
get why you want your kids there, but like recognize that it's not.
Yeah.
You're like if we were having drinks at a bar, you wouldn't bring your kid.
Yeah.
either.
Right. Absolutely.
And
We
I'm
had
not-
one.
and I'm
in
not close to
Puerto
your kid.
Vallarta.
Oh, yeah,
That
you were down
was
in Mexico,
ours,
yeah.
right? And
You did?
yes, and it was. I was like, whatever she wanted to do, it was fine. It brings an X factor in there where you get the like a controlled group. Then we had the actual wedding was on either small island we had to take a boat to, like a private island even from then too.
They
And like,
really made it exclusive.
well, no, I mean everyone was in it, but it was funny. It was, the trip there was kind of the disaster. What I'm trying to say, which I appreciate in
You
retrospect.
ran aground, is what?
Yeah, well, the women were over there in the morning getting a spa treatment. By the time we went, the waters were a little choppy, as
Sounds like they got choppy again.
yeah, they got choppy a little later, but it was even funnier that exactly the waters remained choppy. But So by the time we got off, we got to the island, we were just like, it was like the Amistad bodies were just coming off it. People were just absolutely sick and shit, and like just tossing out there. And I was like, what is going on? Like it's spinning around and the whole time. And they're all like fresh from a spa treatment. Like, oh, isn't this great? You know,
Look at our handsome.
yeah, people were just vomiting and throwing up.
So it's not far
everywhere.
from like what it was like when sailors landed on an island.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My uncle was like,
We're here to pillage.
My uncle's like, it took me 2 weeks to come back from Vietnam across the Pacific Ocean. It was not as choppy. It was not as bad as this. Like 50-minute ride. Whales were jumping on our boat just to try to get a better ride.
I think I got scurvy. I just need oranges. I need oranges and rum.
It was amazing, though. I do want to say it was great.
Yeah.
Well, I think
She's probably listening.
I love.
I think the destination weddings can be nice because then it's like, hey, here's people you're all gonna know.
Yeah.
Take a vacation. Here's an excuse for you to take a vacation if you haven't taken one in
Right,
a while.
and they get to be around their friends too. Like when else are they going to do that? Be around their friends on a vacation? Or something like that, you know?
That stuff is great. The only thing is, like, if you're spending $2,000 to go to someone's wedding, it is a pretty big.
Sure, we kept it under $750 all inclusive. By the way, just
you knew a couple guys.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think that's like
We
the thing.
greased
It's like
some
the only thing that
pesos.
like sucks about weddings are just expensive for everybody involved.
Right, no matter what,
yeah.
even if you're flying to Chicago or
Yeah,
wherever
yeah.
you're going, like, you
$300
wanna be
in a
spending
hotel
money.
for 2 nights, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you're like no gifts, like I wasn't.
Right.
I wasn't giving.
Yeah, trust me, my gift
my
is-
presence is
Is
your
my
Yeah,
present
me
is my
and
your
shit.
present? Yeah.
me in a swimsuit at your wedding is a gift.
Yeah, I think one of the things that is like awesome, and some people think it's bad, is a horrible speech at a wedding. Like
speeches are
a
great.
bad speech.
Absolutely.
Oh man, to see a guy named Brad just eat shit because he's been good at everything else. Oh man, I lick my fucking chops. This guy's fucking just eating his own ass. Like he's like, well, you know, like, and then you're like, I never thought Dad would let Brian marry a Jew broad. Like you're like, ho. Yeah.
I watched my buddy flounder so bad at a wedding, just being like it was like we're at the rehearsal dinner the night before. Have you written a speech? Nah, I'll wing it. Like, you know,
got it.
She's from Wisconsin. He's from Chicago. I'll do like a Bears, Green Bay kind of thing. I'm like,
Writes itself.
yeah, I'm like, buddy, I'm a professional speaker.
When you're in the fourth quarter of your marriage.
I will help you. I'm a perfect.
Right.
And I've never seen so much like classic Catskills flop sweat because it was at a house. So he's on a staircase with people above him, below him, and people down looking at him give this like Evita speech from a balcony, and he's just sweating. Half the drinks aren't even out yet, and he's like, "I got notes." Pulled half his dress shirt out. And just when you're reading, or like maybe just as a comedian, you have a set where you're like, none of these jokes. None of these jokes are
This
gonna
is
go.
not the crowd for my
Yeah,
witty
right.
bagel material.
Watch a guy who doesn't
Yeah.
have confidence or the ability to fill time, just like, and just hearing my one buddy behind us go, whew, this is great. The same thing. Just the hubris of the night before, wine drunk at the rehearsal dinner.
That's what weddings
Like,
bring.
this is.
So I'm gonna smoke this thing. It's just like full of ravioli.
It's funny. I was just getting text by text updates last week from a bad speech that was great from Sean Flannery, actually,
Oh, really?
by Kyle Glass, who owns a comedy bar. I think it's that name. Not Kyle Glass. Kyle, whatever. He owns a comedy bar. in
Oh, one of
Chicago.
one of the guys.
Yeah. And Rob Belushi, I think, was his best man, who used to be an addict, but now he's sober. But anyway.
Yeah.
They
Sounds
brought-
like he's still got some things to figure
they
out.
brought back
Oh yeah,
those stories.
Jim Belushi is the owner of Comedy Bar.
Right. Or some kind of
Yeah, that's
associated
for
with
people
it.
who don't know. That's a bar above a deep dish, comedy
Yes.
venue above a deep dish pizzeria.
Absolutely.
So they come in having 2,000 fresh calories pumped into them
Yeah.
and sit into lazy boy chairs while you do 40 minutes.
You do
in a
45
cavern.
minutes, and they
With
have
an occasion-
bricks in
yeah.
their gut.
With
Yeah,
an occasional guest appearance from a guy whose brother was in Blues Brothers.
God.
So anyway, his speech mentioned
the manager
strippers
there.
and cocaine more than 16 times, like in the first 5 minutes. It's like, I've never heard mentioned strippers more in a best man speech. And like everyone is just absolutely.
There's a level of couth, like you don't want to throw the guy. You want to, but I was best man, and my buddy, who was like, we just smoked a lot of pot and stuff. Like not really nothing compared to like being like a bad person.
Yeah.
It was just like
Just getting fucked up and being in your 20s.
yeah, but
no,
he
no,
had
yeah,
like
yeah, normal
all
shit.
of a sudden I didn't even know about his family. I knew his mom and his stepdad, and that's the only thing I knew about my friend. All of a sudden, this whole extended family and like older relatives from Puerto Rico were coming in. And he's like, "You can't say anything, like nothing." Like he gave me nothing for a best man speech. So I just started doing like plots of movies, like we were in them. Like remember the time we found a treasure map and we got all our friends together. Oh, that was Goonies. I'm sorry. I'm like, he told me I can't say anything. I don't know what to do up here.
God.
I'm like, he gave me nothing. He's like, you can't say anything about my life. I'm like, well, what are you doing to me right now?
And how do you do what are you supposed to do, like 2 minutes? Do they actually have I've never given a speech at a wedding.
There's a formula. Like you
Less is
talk
more,
her
right?
up. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's always that.
There's
Yeah.
that.
Get to it. Read the room.
Right.
I love when you see the two, like the bride side and the groom side, and you're like, oh, I know which side of the family based on attractiveness levels, like who's with what family. You're like, my buddy, he's a good looking guy, but his wife is a beautiful Argentinian woman, and he's from Indiana, so you could really tell who the family members were coming in. All these swarthy Latins coming in, and a bunch of guys in Reggie Miller jerseys. Like they're like, man, this is good grilled cheese, and then another guy just dancing away.
I've been to some of those, like the wedding. It's like, oh yeah, like the well dressed, beautiful, elegant side, and then like, man, I fucking tucked into my good jeans for this shit.
There's a
When's the food starting? Charlene, who assembles and produces and assembles our talking points. Speeches that suck. This is what you should avoid: winging it. Okay,
We
we've
went
examples
over
of that.
Packers and Bears.
Yeah, Packers and Bears. Blackout drunk rambles.
Oof.
That was kind of.
You should avoid it.
Yeah.
I will consume it with delight.
Yeah. Table to table person is fine. With a microphone, it's bad. Goddamn, dude.
Right. Telling a childhood story that might get the mic ripped from your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we got
comedy weddings. Like you gotta limit the.
Yes.
Yeah, because everybody wants to do time.
getting in a fight while giving the speech. Haven't been privy to that one. Anybody seen a wedding fight?
Yes.
Oh, I take that back. I have seen a wedding fight.
I think I know who you're about to talk about.
Monty.
Yeah, absolutely. He was kicked out of his own wedding, right? It wasn't his. It was his.
He was my first Chicago friend,
and rightfully so.
He started a fight with his wife's grandmother,
yeah,
or great aunt or something. It was an old woman, and he threatened her life.
Yeah,
he threatened her life.
Old Monty Lamont,
and then got removed.
There was a time when you couldn't say Lamont on a microphone. That's for
well,
sure.
that's not his name. That's why you can say that.
He's a good guy.
He's great.
Yeah.
He also got kicked out of his own wedding for threatening an elderly relative of his wife.
Chicago comic weddings had a lot of them.
Man,
I rolled down to that wedding. That wedding was like in San Diego. Bronger and I were doing some festival in like Healdsburg or something, North LA, and we're like, all right, we can get up in the morning, we can make it, and just rolled in, excited to see everybody. Mm-hmm. And Monty was like in the parking lot. I was like, well, we'll just go do something else then. I'm like, what's going on? Everybody's like, boy, you missed it. Like, I guess I did.
Oh, God. I did walk into the wrong wedding chapel once in the middle of a wedding.
That's doable. That's in
the middle of the vows.
Well, that's
a little.
And it's a pretty,
for sure.
It's a very Shane moment.
Yeah. Before the movie Wedding Crashers ever came out, my sister had a couple buddies that were just like not in the fair, like would just put on suits and go to the banquet hall. Those down the street.
Absolutely. And there's like
dance, have some snacks.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely,
absolutely. What? There's like 6 anonymous rooms. Like they're all the same.
You can always be like, oh, you guys seem like you were having more fun than the wedding we're at.
That's wild. That's a wild card to play. Yeah.
But it was before the movie came out, and it was like, all right, there's a few hundred people in here.
Yeah, those jerks ruined it for.
What can what can I get away with? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also in that movie, they're doing it to prey upon women.
Yeah,
it's still funny. I still will watch it on every flight.
These are just a couple of fun kids getting a couple drinks, getting in a fight while giving a speech, bringing up stuff that is clearly secret. I don't know if I've been privy to. Seen that go on, like somebody really spilled the beans.
Mm-hmm.
Seen it?
I mean, I don't think publicly I've seen it, but you definitely have heard people be like, well, like,
they don't.
the things like, they're not really doing that well. It's
Right.
like her dad is rich. Like he's not doing that well. Yeah, like just say people saying like me, you're like, God damn, what'd you even show up to this thing for? He's marrying her because he wants to feel safe, and financially she can do that.
Yeah, there's the other one is Professor Undying
Just read
Love
the
for the
vows,
Bride.
Father.
Into nomine Patre.
This is all a sham.
I know. I haven't believed in God in years. Anyways, you kids have a good time.
I like people that don't like the whole garter bouquet thing's kind of out. I haven't seen that happen.
I like
growing
that.
up, that used to be my favorite part.
Yeah,
as
have
a
you ever
kid.
caught one?
But
No,
yeah,
no,
got a
because you're
garter.
also
Right.
an open bar drunk 22-year-old
Right.
that
I
you
mean,
wanted to see women getting like fucking
Like elbowing matches.
offensive formation
Mm-hmm.
to go for that because
Yeah.
they're drunk and then like, oh, I'm pulling out all this stuff out of my wife's gooch. Isn't this classy and hilarious? Like,
Yeah.
even as a young man, I was like, I'm uncomfortable for all the older relatives here right
Yeah.
now. On behalf of them, this is not good for anyone.
Sliding up the leg was something I remember as a child. Like this isn't going to last long. Right? This is tradition.
Yeah. It is
Just
weird. Like
just
I also
grabbing around under
at
there.
this point now, it's also like a lot of my friends are getting married for the second time, so there's a lot of like, we're done with the pageantry. We just want to hang out with a few people we like.
Right.
Yeah.
Good food.
Just very
Yeah, it's like,
transactional.
hey, we're all going to be at the Turkey's Nest. It's football on Sunday.
Other things that are bad, dry weddings. We discussed that. Just
That's
don't
fucking
do that. Don't do that to people.
Yeah, if you hang out with people who drink,
Yeah.
do not have a dry wedding. Like it's.
Although I did, my cousin got married to a guy who was
audacity.
in the.
I
Well,
can understand keeping it to beer and wine
It's
if you're
the
like
audacity, or even cash bar.
cash
offensive.
bar.
It's offensive to me.
It is truly.
You know what I mean?
I spent a lot of money to be here.
Right.
Buy me around.
Absolutely.
yeah, like yeah.
What do you think of the off hours? Like some people do like a Sunday morning, like for a cheaper hall. You know what
Oh,
I mean? Like
that's
like,
I get like
if you're giving me an open bar, I can
yeah,
make
yeah,
it
yeah.
work.
right.
Scrape it
Absolutely.
if you're
Make it-
saving-
but usually
if you're
those don't
putting
go
it
hand in
back
hand.
into the wedding, like the
Mhm.
money you're saving.
That's a good call. Right.
Yeah,
Get
I have
married
some friends
to-
who are getting married on a Monday, and it's because they're not
Right.
They're like the venue is like exponentially cheaper, like by $10,000.
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
what is it? Madison Square Garden? What are they
I don't
Also,
know.
come through the back. They're not aware we're having this wedding.
Yeah.
yeah. The screen door will be open,
Right.
but
The,
not
the place is so cool. You're having a Monday wedding.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like I get like wanting to do it in a nice place, but not
Right. It's for the photos.
Yeah, do it on a holiday weekend or something.
You could
maybe
put the outfit on a week later and do the photos on your own.
that's a good
And
point.
drag everybody else.
Well,
out
that'll
to
be a lot of fun.
Joshua Tree.
Just get a filter for that, for God's sake.
Got a backdrop. This is Hollywood.
Love is really in the air
Right.
with you.
We got movie sets for this kind of thing.
What do you guys think of a themed wedding? Because I think it's a fucking freak show, personally.
I mean,
Like
yeah.
a themed like
Right.
character. Or
Everyone wears a pirate
never-
outfit or something
Star
like that.
Wars.
I've never been to one. Bronger just told me somebody was telling him about a wedding where it was a Predator themed wedding, and the officiant had the full Predator mask on, and they like the flower girl was dressed up like in the camo makeup, and I'm like, kind of cool.
That's
Yeah.
kind of
It's kind of cool.
I mean, you're really
There's not too many
moving.
options. Yeah, you don't have too many options though in the Predator theme. Like in Star Wars, at least there's a lot of
Yeah.
characters with like
I just-
the rest.
You're
of
just a bunch of action. You can be
Right.
an action star who has political conservative views.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
half of the guys from that fucking
Oh, they're
film.
amazing.
Yeah.
So problematic. all
Yeah,
those.
yeah. It was like, what, you're gonna go and just basically just your wedding party is a really conservative Reddit.
Yeah,
thread.
that Native American guy was the hardest of them all, right?
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
fucking
Billy. what's his-
crazy.
yeah. His shit went nuts.
Yeah,
Who
Whoa.
did?
he's great.
He plays the character Billy, and he's like, I guess he's like Native American.
Mhm.
And-
Oh, yeah.
That guy. Like,
yeah,
I looked him
his
up.
shit up.
Oh.
He's nuts.
Yeah, it
Oh,
goes
really?
wild. Yeah. It's really like, man, this guy might have been somewhere on January 6th. Like, yeah,
These guys became patriots.
yeah.
Yeah, I think theme weddings. I'd be.
You're asking a lot for the
You-
people of your guests. that's
Well,
for sure.
It's just got to be the party.
if
It's
you're
got to be the
not-
wedding party, and it,
Right.
like, because if it's anybody else, like if you're asking people to show up in a fuck with a lightsaber, fuck you.
I don't
Oh,
want
I
to.
see
I'm
what
done
you're
with
saying.
Star Wars entirely.
Mhm.
Direct all hate mail towards me. It's done. Put it to bed. I know you guys spent you throwing just
Star Wars
Good money
itself.
after bad at this point, trying to get like.
I bailed out a long time ago. It was kind of like Pearl Jam albums. Like after that fourth album, they warned you, like, if you don't get out now, this is on you.
You're gonna be listening
because
to
we're gonna give you 50 live albums. You don't have to buy them all.
You're gonna listen to Eddie Vedder making animal sounds with an acoustic guitar for 30 years.
Yeah, we were talking about bugs in my room the other day. So we warned you. Get the hell out of here.
This isn't theme wedding. I'll say this though: live bands at a wedding, one of the best things I've ever.
Yes.
If they can rip, if they
Cover bands.
Yeah.
I always thought, why aren't you having wedding bands just play at bars randomly?
Oh,
Do you want people? We went and saw. I'll throw this one out to Mitch and the Melody Makers up in Portland. Mitch and the Melody Makers,
All right.
just hits of the '60s, and people were getting down.
yeah.
And they're regular. They're normally a wedding band,
Yeah.
but then it's like, you know what? It's Friday night. I would love to go to a bar. I like a lot of types of music, but sometimes I just want to hear the Monkees and I want to hear some Wings.
Let's go to
And
the
I wanna-
Alibi and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want like-minded people dancing the hell out
just
of
get-
it.
just
right.
get
getting
down
Let's
into
get
it.
loose.
Right.
Nobody's gonna hurt anyone tonight. It's gonna be a good.
but I
Yeah.
always thought like whatever kind of dive bar in Chicago where it's like, oh, it's not metal, it's like, you know what it is? It's all the songs you know already across the board for people to have a good time to.
We're doing 2-hour sets, and we're gonna call it a fucking night.
He had like a table full of like percussion and like the beads on the barrel kind of thing, and he's like, everybody grab one. Same, I'm sure they do it as a wedding trick, but everybody get like a noisemaker, and then they just did the Mambo song from Beetlejuice.
Awesome.
Like, and everybody's just dancing around,
Yeah.
shaking
Yeah.
shit.
And also, they're working. The DJs nowadays, because everything's just like on their iPad or whatever,
Yeah.
their laptop or whatever. Like, it's not like they had to lug in the records where they look like they were doing something.
If
Yeah.
a DJ gets a flow,
Now they're just on
like
their phone.
yeah,
Like the band at least is putting it out there.
they're sweating with you.
Right.
that's the greatest gag in Wedding Crashers and Old School is the Dan band when they're just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, they're
every
great.
fucking now and like
They're
like
throwing the sliding profanity in
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
but,
it's pretty
slightly,
fun, yeah.
That's good.
I'll
Good
say
bit.
I'll defend DJs in the sense of like there's a skill in reading a room of like, oh, people are dancing to this kind of music.
Yeah.
I got to pay attention to what's going on. And then if a song does come on where all of a sudden there was one song at the wedding Sunday that just cleared the dance floor. And you could tell the guy was like,
Whoops.
he was about to the plane was about to land with another plane on the runway. Like,
Yeah.
oh shit, change it up.
Yeah.
And mixed it, but did it smooth. It wasn't jarring and went right back into like FYP or something.
yeah.
Or I'm sorry, PYT. FYP is a punk band. PYT or
That's-
something.
yeah.
Shifted.
This was not that wedding.
Yeah.
right.
But shifted right into like a song that like got everybody right back on the dance floor. So I'll defend a DJ in
You got
that
a lot of
sense.
room reading. But I'm just saying they don't have to work the way they used to. Like growing up, the DJ in high school had to load up his car with all the records and crates. and
Yeah,
carry,
that's yeah. That shit was kind of there's a production to it. It's
Right.
kinda
The
nice.
cool twirl.
Do you guys have a song?
At
Do you guys have a song at a wedding that you can't wait to hear?
Well, I mean, I was just saying I wasn't lying about the Meatloaf choreography. The Paradise by
That's also what we had for dinner. That was also the meal at the wedding.
For those of you who don't know, Meatloaf was a famed COVID denier that later had his life
But a
taken.
hero to all sweaty big men.
Yeah,
and a
it's
dance floor.
funny.
Pale sweaty big men. I mean, that video.
2 out of
was-
3 ain't bad,
I
man.
mean-
That's a fucking killer too.
Guy making a kerchief work for him.
Yeah.
If people are in it's played out, but when they throw a little shout on and everybody's
It's
getting
great.
low,
Yeah.
There's a reason it's a thing.
A hit is a hit is a hit.
Yeah. I will say I want to dance with somebody.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No.
even Aaron's coming out of the woodwork for that one.
No.
No, he said yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Everybody
I
loves.
thought it was a. I thought that was a. No.
No.
That song is like that'll get a lot of people just shaking.
I'll
the
say
fuck
that.
dance for it.
I'll say this: if there's anybody out there that doesn't like "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston,
Right.
call in and let us know. I don't think you exist.
Have you seen that video of that hardcore
I'm
show?
a Whitney Houston non-fan denier.
Yeah.
And
I don't think they're out there.
I would say if they are out there, they are listening to the show, though. I would say.
Have you-
I hit
there's
that
a-
hole.
Then well, they got the
That's
number.
what I'm saying.
There's
I'm
some
saying
hardcore
I think there's a
show,
chance.
some video of a band like right before a hardcore show. They're playing "I Want to Dance with Somebody," and all these hardcore fans are running around bashing into each other.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
There was I remember probably 25 years ago reading an article about somebody did sound at the Metro in Chicago, and how like the reason they were interviewing him was like, yeah, well, you do all these like punk shows and like, But then the in-between music is always like Whitney Houston's. He's like, yeah, you're already at the show. You don't need more of that version when you're just trying to talk to your friends and get a drink. So I just play all this other stuff, and people love it. People love having a break from like, yeah, we're going to go see, like, we're going to beat the shit out of each other. Some like hardcore, but like in between, give me something mellow. Give me something fun. Like,
just trying to order a beer and not scream over Pig Destroyer or whatever it is.
See, I like those songs that start off with like, this fucking song, you know, you're just sitting in the back, whatever, and you're like, I'll ignore it for a little bit. You know what I mean? And
creeps in there, man.
They're dancing to it.
Yeah, exactly.
The old people like it. Good for the old people.
Next thing you know,
you want to go and go on and dance.
Yeah, next thing you're on top of the table going, total eclipse of the heart. You know, you're just like, oh my God, I get into this.
Fucking 55 songs to avoid playing at your wedding from brides.com.
We do not need
55 to avoid playing?
Yeah. What do you think number one is?
These are songs that I already didn't know existed.
Every Breath You Take by The Police. I can kind of The Scientist. This is a shit list.
It's about a stalker. I don't know. Yeah, Coldplay. These are pretty. Why would you avoid single ladies at a wedding? People like that song. There's going to be single ladies there. Let them celebrate.
The words. Yeah, that's the thing about weddings. Only one couple's getting married, and everyone else is frisky and ready to run.
Yeah, people are drunk and horny and looking like.
I'm not trying to get married. I'm trying to.
Right, the women love it.
But trying to see a bridesmaid just crumpled on my hotel room floor.
But that's because this is from brides.com.
That sounds bad.
That was great.
Yeah, this is brides.com.
Crumpling bridesmaids, bro.
Gonna crash some log into these B-mates.
Put on Beyonce. I'm trying to crumple some bridesmaids.
Out here trying to crush some wing women.
Wing women.
44.
Okay.
I think we should go to the calls.
Now we start.
Now we're warmed up.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll. What other songs on this list?
It's a dog shit list.
But it's from a website called brides.com. It's for the woman who's getting married, and so she doesn't want songs to remind her that she's single.
Yeah.
So that's why.
That I think is the number one negative thing for weddings where people complain about them is that the bridezilla thing, whatever. Like she wants to make it all about herself, whatever. Like, and you said that's something you have to put up with to have all the fun of everything else.
Yeah, every day for the rest of her life is going to be less about her than that day.
Right,
so,
of course.
It's
for most people. Yeah.
It's when you could tell somebody's like, we're just trying to throw the best party for our friends.
Mm-hmm.
My one buddy, the one who had the live band, they had I forget, it was like a Chicago cover band. But then it works too. The live band's good because if you are at the wedding by yourself and you want to dance, you could just look at the band and it's like you're at a concert.
Yeah,
they had a pig.
That's a good point. You can't look at a DJ by yourself. And just,
right,
you can.
Gangnam Style's playing.
I love just weirding out the DJ all night.
Yeah.
They had a pig roast. That was part of it. Full
Sick.
pig roast. So everybody's just having that.
Yeah.
Live band. The ceremony was about 11 minutes long.
Perfect.
The officiant, and then
Wow.
one of their band buddies playing some cool stuff on guitar.
Yeah.
Marriage didn't last.
That's
but,
that's important. A short reception. What do you guys think about the choreographed dances by the parties coming in when they come in with the introductions, like the basketball intros, and are coming through? And next thing you know,
I can leave it.
Yeah, I can leave that.
Yeah,
too.
I don't care, but I don't need it.
I just think about like what the rehearsal time and all that. It's just something off-putting.
Yeah.
Collective dance groups.
If it's
in
impressive,
general,
I'm like,
yeah.
if there's somebody can do it,
Right.
you know, like, but if it's just like a little, you know,
Exactly,
like,
you're
it's like,
teaching amateurs to do this.
Yeah,
for
like I want to see like a Dirty Dancing lift or something.
Right.
You know, like
anything that reminds me that it might be wholesome kind of grosses me out.
Mhm.
yeah.
And that seems like too like sweet, like disgustingly wholesome.
Yeah,
Where
it's
like,
got like it's too Flandersy.
yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it the right way, but like, yeah, I don't like seeing like, and now we do this because this is what everybody will like. And I'll be
Yeah,
like,
don't
All
like
right,
the cabbage
get your
patch or
get your Pat
something.
Boone shit out of here.
yeah,
Right.
you're looking. You really you want to be celebrated even more on your wedding day by showing us you practice the dance
I
too.
know.
Yeah.
Calm
That's the
down. That's a
thing.
moment. It's like calm down.
Beat it, Cleavers. Yeah. Fucking. All right. Well, we should probably switch over to voicemails and see what the kitty cats think.
Oh God.
That's what our listeners are calling.
It's not, but Shane.
They
keeps
love it.
trying to
Kitty
force-
cats?
He's trying to force a nickname.
Nothing but Whitney Houston hate coming up on the calls.
All right.
Get your
Pumped up.
Pat Boone shit out of here.
We'll be right back with after this word from our sponsor.
I don't know if you name your titles or not or whatever. That's
the
the leader in the clubhouse, if you're asking me.
I like it. I like it.
We'll
I'll
be
tell you.
right back. This is No Accounting for Taste. All right. We're back on No Accounting for Taste, and this week we're talking about...
That wasn't being recorded?
Well, I mean,
Always recorded.
It's always recorded, but I think it's after an ad break. What do you want from me, CJ?
My whole conga line riff just went out to nowhere.
It's still there. I'm just trying to get us in after this ad fucking break. All right, well, fuck me running. Who gives a shit? This podcast is going to end in a divorce.
Trial separation. Please.
All right. This is the part where fucking you get it. We're going to play your voicemails now, see what you guys think of weddings.
I would love nothing more than to see you do a wedding in Catskills, Kyle Kinane, Nate Stabby baby in the mix. Crowd work is beautiful. Otherwise, I think weddings are abysmal. They're a little too expensive. They never fucking end well. I mean, let's be real. It's like kind of a bygone era thing. This is like weddings are like boomer shit.
All right, thanks for calling. We appreciate you ringing us.
Wow. That guy does sound like a Kyle Kinane fan. I'll say that.
Sounds like somebody found an open bar.
He sound like all three of the things you said do not do during a speech for the wedding. Don't be blacked out drunk. Don't make it up as you go. And don't
no Green Bay
no Green Bay Packers, and don't be out of breath and just wander off.
Let's move over to Nick. Teresa's friend hates him.
Hey, what's up, Shane and Kyle? This is Nick again from Queens, Tracy Carnazzo's friend. I fucking hate weddings. And like I said, I'm a theater kid, and weddings are basically for normal people that have never put on any kind of show ever. No performance, no theater, no stand-up,
I kind of like that.
And then their one fucking chance to essentially produce a fucking show, because that's what it is. They're renting the venue. They're essentially casting the show with the groomsmen and the brideswomen or whatever. They're choosing the music. They're choosing the seating. They're choosing the food. It's a whole planned out thing. They're choosing the dancing. They're choreographing things. It's a whole fucking performance for normal people that have never had to do a performance.
Jesus.
And now they're begging all their friends to come to their show, just like theater people.
Amateur.
And now you're expected to go, just like I had to go. Except, at least with theater, you have to buy a ticket to go. For a wedding, you have to buy a gift. And I hate buying gifts because it's like, why do people that find love and happiness get gifts? Like, what about the people like me that are sad and alone and miserable? Like, where's my PS5? Also, if your wedding is anywhere outside the 5 boroughs,
Still going.
Right. You got
Nick kicks ass. I love that.
Sometimes you got cufflinks.
I like
some gifts.
I like the style. Hey, this is Nick, Tracy's friend again.
Right.
Wait, what?
I like how you sound like a disgruntled teamster. It's like, theater kid here.
What?
By the way,
hate these amateur hours.
Yeah. He's got the tone of a fucking a guy who's been in a union for 30 years. I'm a 40-year man.
Yeah, I thought he was part of the plumbers union who didn't like cake, but no, he's just talking about he doesn't like the
you get AFL-CIO in there, and then we can talk about production values.
Like,
you guys are
why the fuck do people who find love get gifts?
Is that union love? Is that union certified love?
Where's the gift for the guy whose heart is a piece of black coal? You know what I mean? The guy who's just
35 years I've been doing that.
Why don't you let me leave with one of them brideswomen's?
Come here, give me a smooch.
Did say brideswomen's though. Very like a strangely miserable but also progressive statement from our friend Nick.
He brings up a good point though. Is having like a wedding planner cheating? Is it a cheat code? Should you have to pull off the?
I think they
show
need. I mean,
yourself?
they're pretty elaborate productions now. Like
too elaborate. I think that's part
I
of
think
it.
so.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean? It's part of the. It should
like
be,
I
it
can't.
should be bad.
Ian and Dana had a wedding planner this weekend, but it was a pretty. It was a nice wedding.
So there's a lot of comics at this wedding. Was there any performances going on like that?
No. They were smart. They like
real wise. Okay.
Yeah, like only family spoke, and then at the rehearsal dinner, I think like one comic spoke. And then, yeah. So like it was fine. So that's the space you want to be in.
Dave Stone almost. I was supposed to be best man at his wedding, but I had appendicitis.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm glad you weren't there because you were going to have to hold me back. He almost beat up his wedding planner. Because, like, you'd think there'd be things like trash cans.
I will
When
say,
you feed people,
Yeah.
and then they got to throw things out, there'd be trash cans.
They don't like to
Yeah.
expose. I know, that is
Nope.
weird. About
I
that.
will say, yeah, like if I pay for something like that, and there is the slightest fuck up, I will unload on you like you just canceled my flight.
Dave,
Dave,
he's like he's like Craig Holzer had to stand in and basically take me out of the venue and cool me off because Dave was gonna get in a fight in a nicely tailored suit.
I love Dave.
Yeah, Dave don't take no shit.
Don't like him or do I is the title of this voicemail.
All right.
Well, it's still taking a second to load. It's kind of an old computer.
Hi, this is Sarah. I am calling about giving my opinion on weddings. I don't like them. Or at least I think I don't like them. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm going to hate it, and I dread every minute. And by the time I get there, I have all this anxiety, but then you get a couple of whiskeys in me, and I'm the best at the dinner table. I do not dance, terrible dancer.
I gotta say this on a pause this for a second. This is the exact kind of girl I want to meet at a wedding.
Yeah.
I'm the best.
Yeah.
I feel like
I love those self-assessments,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
bar self-assessments.
Yeah.
I'm amazing on
I feel-
whiskeys and alone.
I feel like her.
Why is my makeup
anxiety-
all the way to my ears? My
Yeah.
lipstick's touching my ears.
Her anxiety is because she remembers what she did at the last wedding.
Yeah.
Before she became the best.
I'm the best.
But if you need someone to be the social lubricant at the dinner table, I can spin a yarn like the best of them after a couple of whiskeys. One of my friends invited me as his plus one. I didn't know anybody there.
I'm just waiting to hear a beer
people,
crack open.
drunk and hugging me afterwards.
I brought whiskeys.
So,
That's my plus
apparently
one.
make friends wherever I go. So weddings, they seem like they're gonna suck, but keep an open mind. Okay, that's it. Have a great day.
That's kind of the essence of the podcast.
Yeah, I think she could have replaced weddings with anything, dentist appointments, whatever.
Yeah.
She was going to bring whiskeys and she was going to have fun.
I like how she's like, and people were just drunken hugging me, even though I didn't know them. She was either the life of the party or people are so worried for her.
Yeah, right.
Like, she didn't hear the part where they're just whispering, please get home safe.
Oh, you're fun. She reminds me of a child star.
I'm a real social lubricant.
Let's go back to Shocker. See what he says. Still loading. I should not announce. I should have it loading before I announce what we're doing.
You're doing great.
This one says there was a problem playing this audio file. Sorry, Shocker. 1010.
All right. As far as weddings go,
Oh, man.
in my opinion, humbly speaking, any occasion that gives white people to gather around and link arm in arm and drunkenly belt out, Sweet Caroline, ba, 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 that's all right with me. So weddings, 10 out of 10 would recommend every time.
I really think we're getting a lot of
Right.
people from Queens on this.
Very specific.
10 out of 10 every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to roll into just an all-black wedding where they're still doing the same thing, just to
Yeah.
blow that stereotype out of the water for our man.
Mhm. Right, just doing that.
Also, what a weird white pride kind of
And
thing.
I tell you what, they're not taking Cool Gang off the list in that wedding, that's for sure.
There's going to be a band.
Like Bride.com is.
I just like that he had more to say after, like, I just like an excuse for white people to gather together. I'm like, okay, there's still more to your statement.
Like a stolen election. Oh, yeah. Next one is going to be called It's a Weird Play.
You know what a wedding is? A wedding is a weird play.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to see it. It doesn't mean anything.
No.
It's just like a complete waste of 2 hours. Like, it doesn't prevent anybody from getting a divorce. So why even do it?
2 hours. That was Fox wedding.
Well, thanks a lot, Cupid.
I mean,
do you know these? I don't know if these people realize you can actually check not attending on the invitations. You miserable sons of bitches.
I mean, I do like that guy.
Thank you for calling in.
Yeah,
but
he was
what
like
a-
standing and smoking.
I do like
pointing to a camera.
his weird logic of like it doesn't prevent you from getting divorced, which I
Right,
guess
what?
is
What does
kinda
that
like-
have to do with that?
I don't
anything?
know. It's like
Speaking of tying knots, I'm throwing a rope over a rafter right now.
wedding floor. I think we might have gotten some calls from wedding professionals, like florists and caterers.
What? Somebody divorced 5 times?
I've been to all of them, mainly mine.
I love weddings so much. I've had 6.
My dad, a Mexican man, got married in a kilt at his second wedding.
Really?
Yeah.
For her?
Or
just for to try it
well,
out?
before I play this,
it's humidity.
So my mom was a nurse from Ireland.
Okay.
Yeah, and my dad's second wife was a Scotch-Irish nurse
I
from
love-
Boston. So he was like, I was like, gross.
I do love when cultures clash though at weddings though when it's mixed races and like that, like it's and they're just learning new traditions and like just making it up, and it was like, okay, now what do I smash a plate on my wife's head, or do I
not a tradition, but something that will happen between
you know what's crazy about
Mexican
Italian
Irish.
weddings? They always pull their wife's chair out too far. Just one mean guy named Nick. All right, this is from a wedding florist, I believe.
Hi, Kyle and Jane. So I think weddings are just an insane waste of money. I am a florist, and just last year we had a wedding, and the bride's budget was $5,000 just for flowers, which is fucking bonkers. I don't even know what the budget was for her whole wedding,
Something
but
about
it's
a
just
gift
crazy to
horse
think
here,
what else
lady.
you spend $5,000
Hey,
on.
also, like, real quick, let's just thank this bride for paying your fucking mortgage.
I know. I mean, like,
I like this. I get what she's saying,
it's
though.
your
It's a lot of money.
employment though. Like,
Jesus,
I just like her telling every customer that.
Yeah.
Do you really want to give me that much for it?
Real-
You know they're gonna die. Everything dies.
Real
Jesus.
blackjack dealer mentality
All right,
over here.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Hit on 18. I don't give a fuck.
I like this lady, though. I like that she's candid, at least. It's cool that she's
Absolutely.
like, I'm a florist, and these are very
Yeah,
expensive.
Absolutely.
Let's see what else she got to say.
I actually got married like a week and a half ago,
Congratulations.
and it was just me, my now husband, my mom, my now stepson, and then my brother, who's ordained, who did the ceremony. And we were just at like a little lake that you can only get to by either hiking or driving like 15, 20 minutes on old logging roads. And it was perfect, and there was nobody else there. We brought our dogs. My mom brought her dogs. The dogs all had Hawaiian shirts on. It was great. And then we came back into town and just had Thai food for dinner. And it was the most chill day. And it was not nearly as expensive as a big wedding. And I think with big weddings, you're just so worried about whether or not everybody else is having a good time that if you're the one getting married, you don't even spend the day thinking about yourself. And that's just my opinion. Thanks. Bye.
This lady's wedding, first of all, sounds like it kicks ass.
Yeah.
Dogs and Hawaiian shirts.
Well, that was I don't know if the dogs agree if that was the best wedding.
I
Or
just
putting
think it's a little
Hawaiian
selfish.
shirts on them.
I'm thinking it's a little selfish. You put 6 dogs in Hawaiian shirts
Right.
and only let a few people see it.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset
I was
about
like,
that. I
good
hope
point.
I hope you had a photographer.
Yeah. They're all like, they're all playing poker.
Yeah.
And she can't get a deal on flowers as a florist.
Well, that's
to
why
have
they
a
went to
little bit?
that's why I went to the forest. Those are the cheapest flowers you can find.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's like, I know how to. This is where I get source my
You
stuff.
want a deal on flowers, you go to where they live.
This is from a wedding caterer.
Hey, so I'm a wedding caterer, so
Jesus Christ.
Sure, you're not somebody who's trying to lull me to sleep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I serve
Christ.
goulash and oatmeal.
Every wedding is a new nightmare.
I serve cold gravy and hot milk.
Everybody gets one serving of porridge.
It's all dollops.
I will say, of the two professional,
only
like, wedding
ladleable foods.
No seconds.
What do you mean, where are the forks?
Make do.
I will say, so far, the two wedding...
Congratulations. This is a happy day.
The two wedding industry professionals that have called in are not thrilled about this.
I know.
Normally it's chicken or fish, but this guy just offers gray or brown.
It's just the Vegas vacation buffet at the Vegas casino. Like, oh, we only need one plate. It's all you can eat, Clark. Here we go.
See if this guy
what we got.
wakes up halfway through his message.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, so I'm a wedding caterer, so yeah. Wedding pays my bills, but I fucking hate them. I do high-end weddings like $20,000 or more. Fuck those people. But yeah. Fuck weddings, but pays the bills, I guess. Bye.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
You are awesome.
Who knew that the people that work in weddings are the most grizzled, hateful people?
Yeah, I can see. You're right. You can see why they wouldn't like them, but yeah. Then,
but Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
Dog. That's.
I plan children's birthday parties.
Sometimes I have to put on an Eeyore mask.
I'm in charge of the streamers and the cupcakes.
Okay, I think we got one.
I hold a blade to my wrist every day when I get home.
I'm a photographer. I think everyone's hideous. All your souls are ugly, and I get them revealed.
All right, we got one more.
But it pays the bills. I love that. I always love that.
Sometimes I hide needles in the centerpieces.
Yeah. It paid for my summer home in Cabo.
I put the corsages on, and I purposely stab them with a pin sometimes, just to let them know who's really in charge.
Yeah. Just a little nip.
Oh, did I get you? Oh, jeez.
You ever seen somebody's happiest day and then have to take the bus home? This is called They're Awesome. This will be our last one.
Hey, Kyle and Shane, it's just from Palm Springs. Calling about weddings. Weddings are awesome. What's not to hate? You get to eat a bunch of food, and you get to watch people usually get way too drunk in an environment they're not supposed to be drunk around, like their friends and family. So my wedding was in January, and it was super fun. And I don't know. I support love. I support weddings. Yeah. Thanks for the show, guys. Bye.
Yeah. You might say what is to hate. No, right. Nothing to hate. And he is right about that. The inappropriateness or the easy, the closest to be, and anything being inappropriate, is what gives it that gives it that danger. Like someone's going to say something inappropriate to a family member, to like a drunk, whatever.
I'm in a
to a priest,
coat. Yeah. And I've had something I've wanted to tell my mom.
Yeah.
And this is the time to do it.
I will say, one of the inappropriate can be fun too. My buddy David was like, we were on a podcast and he was like, my favorite thing about weddings is just like having an old lady back it up on you. He's like, man, it's like not my thing, but it's fun to see.
Absolutely. Aunt Diane.
Yeah. She's got a fucking capri hanging out of her mouth when she does it.
Yeah. I think that's a positive thing to end it on.
Yeah, I think so
that's a good
too.
way to shut it down.
Yeah. CJ, where can they find you? Tell us about the pod before we hang up.
The podcast is Blackout Diaries on Starburns Audio or wherever. Oh, pods are told and sold.
Pods are told.
You know what I mean?
You can get it at the As Seen on TV store. What the fuck? Blackout Diaries with Sean Flannery,
Yep,
right?
Sean Flannery. It was a live stand-up show in Chicago. It's spreading out to the coast. Where it's just a storytelling show of comics and non-comics, like your plumbers and your floor. We're going to have to get more wedding
I think
employees on there.
Two whiskeys
exactly.
and I'm fine.
Right, and they tell great stories. Fun stories with audio visual. Then we interview them and then tell other stuff about drinking. Stuff like there was a guy the other day on a show who was so drunk there was a search party for him, and then he woke up and joined his own search party looking for himself.
Was it?
So we get things like that.
What a fucking clueless bro.
Yeah. Found him.
Didn't you have somebody like that was higher up in the military that was drunk driving and hit a checkpoint and then
he was like he was like this.
One of my favorite stories.
Right. The guy who jumped in the back seat.
Yeah.
He jumped in the back seat and he acted like he was and he was sleeping, and then the cop wakes him up and he acted like he was a chauffeur. Took off running.
Yeah, he's like, I think he was illegal. He must have run into the woods.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, he must have started a checkpoint, took off into the woods. And so the cops were looking for the chauffeur, and then they drove him home. Because he was in the back in his car.
That's
obviously.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, it's on Starburns Audio, Blackout Diaries, CJ Sullivan, Sean Flannery. Kyle, tell them where they can find you.
Kyle Kinane on the internet. It's
Yeah.
my name. It's everywhere.
ShaneIsComedian.com,
You want it
Shane
to
Torres
be.
on the internet and all the other stuff. We all have tour dates coming up, and we're doing a couple of live ones of these soon.
Yeah. Thanks.
Nice.
Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you to everybody at All Things Comedy. Tune in again next week when we discuss how crypto is good for you.